News Talk 1340 KROC-AM. This is Rochester's Good Morning. I'm Brent Ackerman in for Rich Peterson this week. And it's time for our monthly chamber chat, members of the Rochester Chamber of Commerce. And today we're going to be talking about Toastmasters groups. And we have a guest in studio, Tim Amert, who is an engineer at IBM, is here to talk about the Toastmasters, the Chamber Toastmasters. You guys meet, Tuesdays at noon, is that right?
Yes, Chamber 2 meets Tuesdays at noon, and my club meets Thursday mornings at 7 a.m.
Oh, okay, so there's two different ones. All right, so you are part of the Chamber Toastmasters that meets Thursday mornings, and then there's a second club called Toastmasters 2, and they meet Tuesdays at noon. All right, Toastmasters International, for those that don't know, tell us a little bit about what that is. What is Toastmasters?
Toastmasters is a group that's dedicated to helping members improve their communication skills and leadership skills. The communication skills we do mainly with speaking, but we also do evaluations of members, and we learn how to do written evaluations. And leadership comes in different roles that we manage within the club and then in our larger organization within Minnesota and actually nationally.
It seems like a lot of people are afraid to get up and talk in front of a group. We think back to high school or junior high. It wasn't a problem for me, but I know a lot of people were terrified by the idea of getting up and speaking in front of others. What motivated you to join, and what sustains your interest in Toastmasters?
Well, I had been involved with speech in high school and had kind of let that slide when I moved to Rochester, and was actually asked to do more with my church and with other organizations, and realized I'd been kind of out of practice with it. And I started with Speechcraft, which was offered through community education, and the members of Chamber Toastmasters led that group, and so when that completed, I wanted to join and continue that, and it's a great group.
So you excelled, I guess, as a competitive speaker in high school, but at some point you felt the need to, I guess, improve those speaking skills. Why was that?
Part of it's a skill that needs to be practiced and kept up and maintained, a little bit like swinging a baseball bat or swinging a golf club. I was doing some reading in my son's elementary school, but there was more I needed to do with eye contact and other issues to improve on. That's one of the reasons I wanted to get back into it.
All right, so preparation is a key, I guess, to delivering effective speeches. You have to be able to handle topics on the fly, and that came in handy recently for you. You interviewed with the Minnesota Twins about volunteering for next month's All-Star game. Tell us about that.
I applied to be a volunteer, passed the background check, and went up to Target Field and went through a brief orientation session, and then went up for an interview in one of the club decks and was asked 5 questions. Why I wanted to volunteer, what volunteer experience I had, could I commit to 3 shifts to work there, did I have transportation, did I know my way around the cities. And so it was a little bit like a job interview, really
Sure.
Wasn't ready, didn't know what they were going to ask, but with handling the topics that we do in impromptu speaking, I was able to answer those, and I now have 3 slots to volunteer during the week of the All-Star game.
Wow, they didn't ask you if you could throw out the first pitch or anything like that. They've got people for that, right?
They say they've got people for the game and for the home run derby, which is what I was really hoping to do. But.
Sure. Well, that's exciting, though. Now, I'm also told that when it comes to Toastmasters, humor is really important, and a cross-section of members from different employers are among your club's greatest strengths. So sum up Toastmasters a little bit for me. Humor is a part of learning how to speak, right?
Right. There's skill in delivering humor, finding it, preparing it. We set aside 2 minutes at every meeting to go through a humorous intro to the meeting and let people work on developing those tips. We have probably representatives of 18 different organizations and businesses within Chamber Toastmasters. So we not only are a cross-section of the community, we also tend to build a little bit of community within the club as we hear people present speeches, sometimes on personal topics, sometimes on topics that interest them. So we tend to develop a little bit of community and represent the Rochester area within our club.
So would you say what percentage of this is sort of off-the-cuff improv, and what percentage of these speeches are prepared ahead of time?
We usually have 3 prepared speeches, which run between 25 and 30 minutes, and then we set aside 6 to 10 minutes for impromptu speaking, depending how the agenda runs and how the other speeches have been going.
All right, so if somebody out there is interested in checking out a meeting and seeing if Toastmasters is right for them, do you welcome outside guests?
Yes, we welcome guests to come as often as they want to. They will not be called upon to speak. They can attend and see how our meetings run and how we approach our meeting, and we will provide information to them at the first meeting, and then when they ready to join, we have membership forms there, but they're welcome to attend as often as they want to as a guest.
So again, when it comes to Toastmasters, this is really something for maybe people who are shy and not used to getting up in front of a group, and they can learn those skills, or people who maybe want to just kind of polish up those skills that maybe have to do it for their job or as you mentioned, at church or other things. This is a great organization to help.
Thank you. And we've seen, when people come in very new, we see immediate and sustained growth with people coming in right away. And then people who have been accomplished at it are getting better and branching out into new areas.
All right, so you mentioned that there are 2 Rochester Chamber Toastmasters in town. I would imagine there's other ones as well, but let's talk about your 2. The one meets at 7 a.m. Thursday mornings, and where do they usually meet?
Chamber of Commerce office in the Holiday Inn downtown, ground level.
Okay, and then the second club, called Chamber Toastmasters 2, meets at noon on Tuesday, same place?
Same place.
All right, so if people want to be involved, they can get more information on the Chamber's website, on Facebook, or just do a quick web search. We all know how to do that now.
Yes, Rochester Chamber Toastmasters leads right to us.
All right, Tim Amert, thank you so much for stopping by and telling us a little bit more about the Rochester Chamber's Toastmasters Club's meetings, and wish you well.
Thank you.
And good luck at that Twins, or the All-Star game, representing the Twins.
Thank you.